Hello my friends, for this review we're going to take a look at the DC Collectibles DC Essentials Knightfall Catwoman. First of all, thanks to my friends at DC Collectibles for sending me this figure for early review. This figure is going to be out January 2020, so at this time it'll be out in a few weeks from now. It's the beginning of the year when I'm recording this anyways. So yeah, this will be out January 2020. So this figure is based upon Catwoman's appearance in the Knightfall storyline, but more specifically that early 90s Catwoman purple and black costume. So here she is, and I zoomed in on her a little bit. I'm going to zoom out so you can kind of see her a little bit better. Sorry, the lighting's a little wonky in here today. There we go. I'll zoom in again on her. But yeah, as you can see, it's got that really cool purple and black costume. Very classic, very 90s. I really like this costume. I think they did a great job of translating this costume from comic to plastic. So it really fits in with the whole Knightfall theme, along with that other the Knightfall Batman that comes out with this wave, which I'll show you in a sec with this figure. But yeah, they did a great job with this figure. So I'm going to zoom in on her a little bit more again here. There she is. So as you can see, the head sculpt's really nice. The coloring on the costume's perfect. The paint applications are pretty perfect. And it looks great. My favorite thing about this figure, and it's kind of, I'm trying to zoom in, there you go, are her fingernails on her gloves with those little tips, those little claws she has on her gloves there. I think those are fantastic. I love that little detail they added there. So yeah, this figure's great. The articulation's awesome. You know, you can move her legs around. You can put her in these sort of Catwoman poses. I was about to meow, but I don't think that would go over well. So anyways, you can do all that. She does have an ab crunch as well. Those of you who are fans of the ab crunch, she does that. She stands okay. My other DC Essentials figures in this wave all sound really well. This one is a little bit more delicate, I think, just because of the size of her feet, but she stands great. Look, she's standing. It's awesome. There she is. So for comparison, I'm going to bring in the old school DC Direct Knightfall Catwoman from maybe 12, 15 years ago. So as you can see, they're both based on the same costume, and yeah, they both look awesome. The old school Catwoman is a bit taller than the new one, and yeah, there she is there. And she is really hard to stand up, honestly. She always falls over. I think on the shelf I have her leaned in on another figure typically, but she's a great figure too. It's just she's just a lot taller than this new one, which is fine, but yeah, she still holds up really nicely with this figure. I mean, those DC Direct figures of old are beautiful figures, so they hold up really well. There's a better shot of them together. So yeah, there you go. If you already have that figure, I would still recommend this figure because this figure just scales way better with modern day DC Essentials figures and DC Collectibles figures. And of course, if you don't have either one of these, or you don't have the original Catwoman, then this figure is definitely for you if you like that 90s look. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this Catwoman for a sec. So just give me a sec. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Knightfall Batman. There he is. I have another video review of him. I'm going to put her right next to Knightfall Batman. And this is where I say she kind of has a hard time standing. There you go. No, she's fine. There you go. So she's looking good next to Knightfall Batman. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some other Knightfall themed figures just so you can kind of see her with kind of a Knightfall theme. So this is the Knightfall Bane from DC Direct from a few years ago. So she looks great with him. I'm also going to bring in the Knightfall Nightwing from a number of years that came out with that Bane, and he looks really great next to both of these figures. And then we're also going to bring in Tim Drake. This Tim Drake is from the Teen Titans series, so he's not officially a Knightfall Tim Drake, but it's the same costume, and he looks great as well. And then I'm also going to bring in Asbat, or Jean Paul Valley, or Azrael as Batman. So now this is when I feel like I'm setting up a picture pose here. So that's the Mattel Jean Paul Valley. He's definitely a little bit smaller than the rest of these figures, but I think he scales pretty well. I mean, he looks good next to them. You could say that Jean Paul Valley was a little shorter than Knightfall Batman, but you know, yeah, it works. And for one last figure I'm going to throw in here, is the Mattel variant edition of Jean Paul Valley with the red, which was like literally in the last issue of Knight's End, when Bruce Wayne reclaimed the mantle. That's and Jean Paul Valley. Actually, no, it wasn't the last issue. He got that red scheme, I think, a couple of issues earlier. Maybe the issue right before the last issue. But anyways, we don't get too off topic. But there you go. So this is kind of your complete Knightfall shot. As you can see, these figures look awesome together. I think DC Collectibles did a great job with this Catwoman, with the Batman. I'm a big fan of the DC Essentials line. They look like beautiful figures. They have great articulation, and I'm very pleased with them. So there you go. So anyways, thanks again for watching this review. I would love to hear your feedback. Preferably positive feedback, but I'll definitely take negative feedback as well. I'd love to hear your honest thoughts on these figures. Hopefully you'll enjoy them as much as I do. Both of these figures, the Knightfall Batman and the Knightfall Catwoman, are going to be out in January 2020 at your local comic book stores and online retailers. And that's about it. So I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching this review.